in. This is another wonderful time where we're going to continue and finish up the topic that I had started, overcoming rejection. I thank God for the response, for the way this word has blessed many people, has removed the spirit of rejection out of the lives of so many people. So we are a blessed people. 1 Peter 2:9. We are called a royal priesthood, a chosen people. We are royalty. Royalty means we are chosen. We are a blessed priesthood. So rejection is not our portion. So be with me for these few minutes that we shall just continue to be blessed in the presence of the Lord. And I believe this word is going to take somebody out of bed, the bed of depression, the sofa set. You know, there are people who wake up and sleep on the couch the whole day because there is no motivation. You feel depressed. You feel things have rejected you. So understanding the root cause of the problem always helps a lot. And so today I'll just take it up from there. Those who didn't watch the previous part had gotten the scriptures from the book of 1 Samuel. You can go and read 1 Samuel chapter 16. And I also combined it with chapter 17. The story when David was going to fight Goliath. The entire story is in 1 Samuel chapter 17. And so I'd left it at a place where I was saying the problem with rejection is that you overdo things in order to get acceptance. David had been asked by Saul to bring 100 foreskins. He was told, go get me 100 foreskins. David brought 200. He doubled the number. You see, it was not necessary. They had just asked him. The king had just asked David, bring 100 foreskins. Go and kill 100 Philistines. Bring their foreskins here. David went and killed 200. Because that's what I said. When you have suffered a spirit of rejection, when you are told something by your boss, when you are told something by people, maybe your friends, your peers, you always try to outdo what you have been told because you have a spirit of rejection. And so you want people to see you. You want people to notice you. And so any area of your life that is overdone, when you overdo any area of your life, I will guarantee you 100% chances are you have a deficiency in that area. When you see somebody who overdresses, they overdress. When they put on clothes, when they put on jewelry, it has to be extra. It has to be like the way I see rappers. Nothing I have against the rappers, but you see them wearing gold teeth, gold chain. They have a gold watch. They have another wrist on this other side, a chain. It's just overdone. Everything is extra because something is lacking on the inside. They are empty. And so they are trying to shout that I'm important. It is often said that when you look at the billionaires, in fact, we have one who is known. His trademark is almost his t-shirt that he likes to wear. An entire billionaire. All these stories are always on the internet. Why this and this billionaire has one pair of shoes. Sometimes I think these people are lying to us, but those stories are common. Why so and so owns only one pair of suit. But when you look at them, their net worth is over $30 billion. Why? Because when you have nothing to prove, you never overdo things. So sometimes when I see a lady, when I see a young man overdress, and when I see you trying so much to get attention, rejection is somewhere settling deep down in the heart of that person. And so I hope I've helped some people that if you want to know the person you are dating, the person you are married to, if you want to understand, especially if you have not even married the person, if you want to understand what are some of the red flags you should look out for, what are some of the red flags you look out for when you're interacting with people? Check their uniform. People have a uniform. People who have issues have a uniform. Let me explain that. A lady who suffered rejection most times, she will have a uniform. By a uniform, I mean there is a certain way she always dresses that shows you something is lacking. They always expose too much skin. If you are a man, a young man, they are always in a muscle t-shirt, or they are always trying to show people their muscles. That is a problem. There is nothing wrong with wearing muscle shirt. There's nothing wrong with wearing fitting clothes and all those designer clothes that people like to wear. But if all the time we see you, you are always skimpily dressed, you are always trying to show us your muscles, then something is wrong, because that is your uniform. It shows a certain emptiness. There is nothing wrong with putting them on once in a while here and there. You love to put on muscle when you're going to the gym, muscle clothes and all that. But now when you're always putting it out there, that is a spirit of rejection. When you're doing so much makeup, too much lipstick, too much, I'm telling you, something is lacking on the inside. Because people who are content, they don't overdo things. And so this is a confirmation, because David was overdoing. He was requested, bring 100, he brought 200. And that's why I'm saying, when you're trying to overdo, when you're a lady and you're going for introduction to your man's place, and you're insecure, you will overdo it. You will try to serve everyone. You will go and fetch water. Because what you're longing for is acceptance. And I'm telling you, I've taken quite a number of friends for the introduction. To go and meet the girl's parents. And most time when I'm there, I learn a lot. I see how people go out of their way to get acceptance from the family. And I'm thinking, no, that is too much, Because all this will fade away with the time. They are trying too much to get acceptance. Don't try too hard. Get the acceptance of God. The rest will follow. For me, I always have one audience, God. If God is happy with me, if God smiles on whatever I'm doing, I'm telling you, your opinion does not matter. I will give you a good example. When, if you are driving, let me use Kenya. We have all these requirements. You need to have your driver's license and all that. Your car needs to have that inspection certificate. It has to have that insurance. Now, let me say this. When you are a licensed driver, when you have a valid driver's license, when your car is insured, when you have all the right papers from the bodies that are mandated to give us these licenses, when you have all these papers in check, you have the right to drive on Kenyan road, any Kenyan road, because you are a valid driver, you have all these papers. Nobody can stop you and arrest you and tell you, no, we do not recognize this body. Why? Because those bodies are higher than that police officer who wants to stop you on the road. When you have papers from institutions that are higher. This is what I'm saying. We are from an institution called heaven that is higher than any demon that may try to stop you on the road. So when I, as Kelvin, have the authorization, when I have all the valid papers from heaven, let me tell you, there is no rejection that can get me here on earth. And that is why I'm talking about this spirit of overcoming rejection. When you have the legal, when you have the right backup from God, you will not be rejected by things here on earth. But when the highest body and the highest powers, when God has not put his stamp on you, I'm telling you, every police demon officer will stop you on the road. The demons will be seeing you and they see you don't have the right papers. They tell you, hey, step out of the car. You'll be arrested. So if you are a child of God who's often arrested, check your authorization levels. Maybe you have not been authorized from heaven. No wonder you try a business and only, you wonder, when the city council come, they only see your shop. I heard somebody say that they were trying to operate a certain business and it's like thieves were only seeing that shop. Can you imagine? This person had a stall in a place where there are over 20 stalls. Over 20 stalls. But the robbers, the people who are coming to steal, they were only seeing this stall. All the time it was this specific stall that was being robbed. And it's not that this stall had so much money than the rest. Because sometimes when you have not dealt with the real root cause of issues, I'm telling you, you will suffer loss. And you will keep asking yourself, is it that I'm cursed? No, you're not cursed. You need to address the spirit. Remember I gave you the story of Ezekiel chapter 16 when God was talking about Israel being rejected at birth. They were abandoned at birth. It is God who came and took them. Imagine Israel, the nation we say is after God, the nation that God loves, and we are all also encouraged to pray for Israel. Now imagine if Israel went through that rejection. What about you and I, who are referred to as the Gentiles who have been engrafted? You know we are not Jewish. You and I who is watching, if you are not watching me from Israel and those related countries, we are all this other category of Gentiles. We have just been engrafted because Jesus Christ paid it at the cross so that even us, the non-Jews, can come in. So imagine if the Jews, the original people at first, were rejected. What of you and I if we don't deal with this issue? We have to understand we have been engrafted. But there's a strong spirit called rejection that is busy silencing so many believers. You go to a company, you have all the qualifications, nothing happens. Let me tell you, today morning when I was coming here, on my way to the studio, I passed somewhere and there were people outside. There are people outside a certain factory. They are awaiting to be called. They are awaiting for their clearance or something of the sort. There are so many, they are lined up out there. So they are waiting to know if they got the job or not. And you see, these are the realities. Let me tell you the reality of what will happen. Some people will be called. Others will be rejected. Because in an interview, I don't care how spiritual you want to be. Let me tell you the bitter truth. When there is an interview, not everyone will be taken. What I'm saying is scriptural. Because what does the Bible say? Many have been called. A few have been chosen. Why do you think the Bible put that scripture there? Many have been called. A few have been chosen. Meaning there are people who have a spirit of rejection. And if you don't deal with this, you will be among the so many people that will be left out. Just like that group that I passed today. That so many people were outside waiting. But a few will be chosen. There's a time I saw a sad situation in our country, Kenya. Maybe some of you can remember that incident that was also the big talk during that time. It was the big talk in the town of how unemployment is so much an issue in Kenya. A certain media house had announced the position. I think they just needed one journalist. And I'm telling you, the queue, the people who came for the interview, the queue for the interview was over 1,000 people. The line, the queue was endless. And you see, Kenyans began talking and saying, one post, and the people who came out were thousands. It shows you how so many people are out there, unemployed. And probably you're watching me and you're out there, you are unemployed, you are hopeless, you are feeling, wow, I need help. Something needs to happen. Today we are going to pray, may the spirit of acceptance locate you. Because when you have an acceptance spirit, things flow. When you have an acceptance spirit, good things locate you. And I don't see this arrogantly, because somebody might be saying, oh, Kelvin, you are talking, you have it easy. One day, when the time is right, I'll be sharing bits of my stories. There is a time I remember, so many years back, some years back, I was just in the house and I told God, I want to do something. I want to do something because I'm tired of staying in the house and waiting for this to happen and that to happen and all that. And so I remember very well, I'd been invited to go and speak at Chuka University. It's in Meru. I'd gone to Meru. I was in Meru. I'm at Chuka University. Many years back, I was just there telling God, if truly I'm your child, and I'm accepted, and I have favor, Father, you provide a way for me to get something to do, something good. And so I'm at Chuka, you can imagine. I'm in Meru, Chuka University. I'm there for a speaking engagement. I'm addressing the university students. Then when I finish my session, I get out, I check my phone. I have 10, those I tried calling you, 10 of them, and I was wondering, oh my God, what happened? Did somebody die? I mean, it's okay when you find one missed call, but when you find 10, you become worried. You wonder, who died? Because I'd put my phone on silent. Because I was in the hall, I was addressing the students, a big crowd, thousands of students, and I was like, wow, this is a good opportunity. But I knew after that, I'm still going back, no job, no nothing. But I told God, I have favor. You do something for me. And so I check the numbers and I'm wondering, where do I start? So I'm panicking, I'm calling to know what happened. 10 missed calls, 10. And so the first person, somebody had given the HR, human resource. The HR had been given my number, the HR of a certain organization. They had been given my number by somebody. Somebody referred me to them and told them, this is a good young man. He will work so well in that organization. I know him. And so the HR was calling me and it was not going through. Okay, he was wondering, why isn't this guy picking? So the HR tried again. He was not getting me. So the HR called this person who referred them to me. So this person was also trying to call me. So the two of them were interchanging. This one is calling me, the other one is calling me, because nobody is getting me on my phone. So that's why I had 10 missed calls. Because a job had opened up for me. Listen to me, this is the secret. When I was busy doing God's work, when I was busy preaching my heart out to those students at Chuka University, my phone was busy ringing. People looking for me to give me money. That is how God works. When you are busy doing his things, God is busy touching the right CEOs. The right CEOs are being denied sleep, and they are wondering, why can't I rest? Do you know why they are restless? They are restless because God is pinching them, and God is telling them, give Kelvin some money, give Kelvin good things. And so people cannot even rest, and they don't understand why. It is because they are supposed to be good to you, because that is what happens when you have a spirit of acceptance. But when you have a spirit of rejection, you keep applying, and you just get the famous answer, don't call us, we will call you. And they have never called you up to date. Christ died. Christ suffered shame and rejection that we may be accepted. So I don't believe you should pay the price of rejection a second time. You and I should be accepted. And again, as I've said, I don't say these things arrogantly. I understand there are people who are in that season of rejection. They might feel offended maybe with this message, but this message is to inspire you, to show you that you can come out of that. And you are a child of God, and you should be walking in acceptance. And that is what I always believe for myself. And I will tell you that even those who are around me, they know when I go somewhere, Most of the time when I'm invited somewhere to go and preach or to go and speak, talk to the students at our campus, I've gone to quite a number of universities here in Kenya. I've gone to quite a number of organizations. They always tell me you have to come back. Do you know why? I don't believe it is because I'm a good speaker. There are better speakers than myself out there. My friend, they are professional orators. There are people out there when they talk. I'm still trying to perfect my art. I have not even reached the levels of certain people. There are people when they talk, their English is proficient. They are just good. They are just excellent. The way they construct their sentences. There are people who've done public image. They know how to present themselves to the public. You know, these things are taught. You're even taught how you sit when you're in front of a crowd, when you're in front of an audience. You don't just take your hand and you start poking your nose and you're on TV and you're talking. You know, when I was coming here, you know, these things you need to be taught. You don't just take your hand and you start removing yesterday's meat from your teeth and you're in screen and you're saying, yesterday. And so I'm still working on being that level. There are people who have mastered that. So when I'm invited, it's not because I'm very good at it. It is because of the spirit of acceptance. When you have acceptance, people just want you back. People want you back to their home. I've gone to so many people's rural home. You know, I travel. I think I've been to all the 47 counties of Kenya. We've gone even to Turkana. I've gone to Marsabit. I've gone to so many places. When I go there, I meet very many different cultures. And when I'm visiting these people, they always tell you have to come back. Why? Because you have a spirit of acceptance. So sometimes I even go to communities that are Muslim dominated. Those areas of Garissa, when you are there, those ones are Muslim dominated areas. Yet I'm a Christian. But you know, when I went there, and I was making fun, and I was making jokes, and they were laughing, and they were telling me, you have to come back. And I was saying, isn't that a wonder? That even a Muslim can tell you, we love you, we want you back. But I'm telling you, there are some Christians, if they go there, they will start saying, you are Muslims, you are going to hell, you will burn, get saved. And so these people will never want you, because you don't even have a spirit of acceptance. You don't know how to win people. Apostle Paul was saying that when he went to Rome, he did as the Romans. He became a Roman in order to win them. When you have a spirit of acceptance, when you go to the Maasais, you become a Maasai in order to win them. When you go to Western, you become a Westernized in order to win them. When you go to Eastern, you become a distant person. You don't say, I don't come from here. These people are not my class. They are not my standard. Have a spirit of acceptance, because David overdid things because of trying to fill that gap. And so today, if you are somebody who overdoes things, can you stop it? Because it shows the emptiness. And you may think that you are convincing people, but you could be convincing a very small fraction. The rest of us who have a spiritual eye can see that you are just suffering from rejection, and you are trying to get love, and you are trying to get affirmation, and you are trying to get acceptance, because you want people to like your pictures, you want people to like your posts. So people nowadays in Kenya are doing very dramatic things. People are going out of their way in order to get people to view their things. People are dancing half naked. My goodness, you should see the madness that is in TikTok. Even believers have entered in that madness. People dancing, born again, demon chasing, tongue speaking, and you are busy showing us your buttocks on social media dancing because you want people to like. You are empty, my friend. You are empty. And that's why you are trying to get acceptance outwardly. That's why you are trying to expose your body, because you are empty. So you think that for men to love you, you have to show them what your mama gave you. And that is such a shallow concept. Because if somebody wants to know you, they should engage you by the content that you carry in your brain. They should engage you by your character. But if I'm so desperate that I have to post my picture half naked so that girls can see that I have muscles, say, come, then that shows desperation. I'll ask you this. Have you ever seen a car? Have you ever seen a matatu that has come to the stage without the body? Have you ever seen a bus that has arrived at the stage without the body? It's just chairs and the base part and the tires and the engine. And then the car has no body. Can you imagine getting into a bus that has no body? When it begins to rain, you are all rained on. Nobody will get into that bus because it's not even safe. You have never seen a bus come to the stage without the body saying, we need you to know that this bus has an engine. No. The fact that the bus has arrived at the stage, we know definitely it has an engine. So what I'm saying, you don't need to remove the body. You don't need to remove your clothes for us to know you have an engine. The fact that you are walking, we know you are a human being and we know you have an engine. So please stop showing us your engine. We know you are a vehicle that can move, and we usually enter a bus that is even covered and we are not seeing the engine. In fact, it is safest to drive a car that you cannot see the engine. A car that you can see the engine, my friend, avoid that car at all costs. You imagine driving a car that has no bonnet, you can just see the engine right there. The engine has to be covered so that when the car is going inside water, the water does not get in the engine. So young men and women of God, why are we exposing our engines? It's a rejection issue. You are trying to prove to people you have an engine. No, please cover it. We know you are moving, we know you have an engine. So David went through rejection. And because of that, after David killed Goliath, I'm telling you all these stories in the Bible, and you'll go and read them. Remember we read 1 Samuel 17, the story of Goliath and all that. Now, later after the war, go read chapter 18, go all the way to 19 and 20, because most of the things I'm paraphrasing are from there. When David won and he came back, David was given Merab. Merab was King Saul's daughter. Because remember, there was a prize for anyone who kills Goliath. The king had said, anyone who kills this uncircumcised Philistine, your family is going to be exempted from paying tax. That was number one. Number two, you are going to marry the king's daughter. So David comes back. David has killed Goliath. David is given Merab. And David refused to take Merab. And I want to say something there before time escapes us, because I can see time is really flying. This is what I want to say. David refused Merab because he thought he was not worthy to have somebody like that. Do you see what rejection does to you? Rejection causes you to refuse things that Christ has died for you to have. When you have rejection, when you have insecurity in yourself, and you are not sure that you are accepted, you behave like David. He was given Merab, but he said, I don't deserve the daughter of a king. Because you feel worthless. When you have not dealt with rejection, you always feel like you are second class. And when somebody even compliments your dress and tells you, hey, your dress looks nice, you start saying, this old thing. You cannot even receive a compliment. Do you know why? Because you are so broken. You are so broken that when people tell you you look smart, you start saying, hii hata ni ya mtumba. This one, I didn't even buy it from the shop. Hii nilinunua hapa Gikomba. We did not ask you where you bought it. Somebody just told you you look smart, and you can't even say thank you because you are broken and you think you don't deserve the best. You always eat in kibandas, even when you have good money, because you don't feel you deserve to eat in a 5-star restaurant. Get yourself out once in a while. Go to a spa. Get your body massaged. Take care of yourself. You will die and leave this money here, and we shall eat it on your behalf. Some people are so stingy. Some people have over 500,000 in their account. They have never even taken themselves out. Some people have over 1 million in their account. When you look at their hair, my goodness, it is pointing in all directions. You don't remember the last time you went to a salon. You are so you don't even appreciate yourself. Hey, I'm saving. Continue saving. If you do not have the spirit of acceptance, I don't care even if you save 10 million, you will still feel you are not worthy to even own a house. You will not even build your own home. Because the issue is not in the amount of money you have. It is in the spiritual. We need to deal with the root cause, the spiritual root cause. When you have poverty in your roots, and you have rejection in your roots, I always say this, the whole world right now, God can press reset. I'm telling you this, you can take this to the bank. Today, if we are all given $10 million, that's almost $1 billion Kenyan shillings. If we are all given 1 billion Kenyan shillings, everyone is given $10 million. I'm telling you, after 2 years, some people will be broke. And the ones who had money, the money will have gone back to them. I tell you the truth. Today, if we all given money, within a period of 5 years to 10 years, all that money will have found a way to gravitate back to the original owners, to the people. The billionaires will be billionaires again. Because when the spiritual root cause has not been addressed, even if you win a lottery, I know of a certain family where a member won. You know this betting that has become so rampant nowadays. Somebody won a very huge amount of money. But my friend, the things this person was buying, I was sure within no time this money would be over. They first of all bought a big car. They have not even factored in maintenance. You know, maintaining a car is not a small matter, especially in our Kenyan roads, where you drive and you wonder, did somebody wake up at night, dig a hole and run away? You find potholes that look like swimming pool. You can dive. So this person has bought a big car. They have not even factored in issues like maintenance, fuel and all that. I'm telling you, after some time, they're looking for somebody to buy that car. Because the spiritual issue, if it has not been addressed, if you don't have acceptance with money, I can be giving you as much as I can, but that would be wasting, because it's like you're throwing in a pit, bottomless pit. You know, that is why hell is called a bottomless pit. It doesn't have a bottom. You keep throwing money there, it will never fill up. Why? Because your spiritual issue is bottomless. You need Christ to come and give you a bottom, so that when people put money in your hand, it can grow. So that when I come and give you 100,000, you can do a business and it can grow. But when you are bottomless, when your spiritual altars of rejection have not been corrected, I can pour even 2 million in your business. And I'm telling you, after 1 year, I will still come and find you saying, there is no money. This COVID has really... why are you blaming COVID on everything, even on your carelessness? We need to understand some spiritual issues are rejection, because David rejected Merab because he thought he was worthless. And then, because of time, let me jump and finish. Now, I'll not go to the other part of him getting to Michal. Now, he was finally given Michal. Michal is also a daughter of King Saul. And Michal is the daughter who despised David because of David dancing. And because of that, she never got a child her entire life. That is a sermon for another day. I'm gonna teach on that when I'm teaching on honor. Michal did not honor the Lord's anointed. David was the Lord's anointed. Michal, daughter of Saul, despised David because David had zeal, and that caused her to be barren. That's a message I'll do soon, another day, because it has affected so many people. You can get a curse in your life because of despising men and women of God who are doing great things in the kingdom. If you are somebody, let me say this. If you are somebody who has ever spoken bad about somebody, maybe who was praying in tongues, and they were praying loudly, and they were shouting, and you just spoke bad, and you say, why is this person shouting like that? What is it? I'm telling you, you probably have a mark of a curse in your life. You need to go and repent. Because there are people, when you insult them, they are not normal people. We have Moses of this generation. When Aaron and Miriam spoke against Moses, God did not take it lightly. God said, were you not afraid to speak against the Lord's anointed? Were you not afraid to speak against Moses, my servant? And because of that, Miriam got leprosy, and her skin was as white as snow. There are some of you who are suffering with acne. Some people are suffering with certain discharges in your body, and you think it is a health problem. You have tried on every cream. You have tried on every lotion. But your problem is you dishonored a man of God. You dishonored somebody who was doing something in the vineyard of God. And you said, kwani Pastor Kelvin anafikiria tu yeye ndio pastor? Kwani huyu mhubiri anafikiria tu yeye ndio? When you dishonor prophets of God, there are discharges that begin to come out of your body, abnormal discharges. Because you remember when Joab, the commander in David's army, when he despised the instruction of the king cursed him. And David said, may there never lack a person who has a discharge in the lineage of Joab. And that's why up to date, there are people who never lack a family member who is just having funny discharges. They are just discharging things. That's a message of honor for another day. Today we're talking about overcoming rejection. David did not overcome rejection. So by the time he was being given Merab, he refused to take Merab. So finally David got Michal. And then Saul took away Michal from David again. And so let me finish by saying this. I'm now on my concluding page. Later on, go and read 2 Samuel chapter 3 verse 14 through to 16. 2 Samuel chapter 3 verse 14 to 16. When David was taking back the kingdom, David was giving Ishbosheth. Ishbosheth was the son of King Saul. David was giving Ishbosheth some instructions. And David was saying, when I'm going to take over, because I'm now going to be king again, I want my wife back because you people took Michal away from me. And this is what I'm saying. The problem of not dealing with rejection, the day you make it in life, you will hurt people because you are trying to prove a point. David was hurting Paltiel. Let me tell you who Paltiel was. Paltiel was the man who came and married Michal after David left Michal. So Michal was like the ex-wife of David. But now, because David is king, he's now coming back to get his ex-wife, and he's saying, I want Michal back. I don't care if she has married Paltiel. I don't care. That is the problem with people who have rejection. When they get into power, when I now become president as Kelvin, now I want to go back to my ex-wife and I want to take her by force. That is what David was doing. He was saying, because now I am king, I want Michal back, and I don't care if she's married. And that's why I've told you to go and read 2 Samuel chapter 3 verse 14. It says, now when Michal was being taken back, the husband, Paltiel, was crying all the way following her. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how emotional? If it was a love movie, I believe at that point so many of you would be with your handkerchief crying. Those who love soap operas, the Mexican soaps, you would be crying. Imagine Michael is being dragged and the husband is crying, just leave my wife for me. And they did not even have sympathy for Paltiel. They just told Paltiel, go back. David wants this girl. And David was given Michael by force. That is the problem of people who are bitter when they get money. That is the problem of people who have a spirit of rejection. When they get money, they start to show us madarau. They now start to prove to us, I will show you. And that is why some of you, God has not given you money or breakthrough. Because he knows when you get that Range Rover, you will drive immediately to your ex to show them, hey, you left me. Look at me now, I'm driving a big car. You will behave like David. The moment he got power, he went back to the former lover and he said, I want you by force. You refused me when I was poor, now I have money. Some of you need to let go that bitterness and that rejection. Because maybe that's why God is not blessing you. Because you're asking God to bless you so that you can go back to your former lover and show them how you are successful. I will show them why they left me, they made a mistake. No, please move on. If somebody left you, if somebody rejected you, please move on. Don't build a house so that you can show somebody who rejected you that you are now successful. For me, I want to be successful. And when I get all these things, I do not even want to show my enemies anything. My goal is not to show them that I'm now driving a big car, that I'm now living in a big house. My goal is to become the best version of me until they will desire to just be friends with me again. We are not getting these things so that we can brag on them to people. We are getting these things so that we can bring glory to the kingdom of God. As Pastor Kelvin, I want to have a private jet so that it can be easier for me to jet from Kenya, and in the second service I'm preaching in South Africa, and in the third service I'm preaching in another country. I want to get these things so that it can be easier for me to do ministry. I don't want to get a private jet so that I can brag and show my enemies, hey, mulitudarau, sahi tumeomoka. No, that is not my purpose. Because when you are healed, when you are whole, you do not behave like David behaved. You do not go back to people that moved on with their life and then you try to bring them back by force. Leave people who rejected you. Stop talking about your mom who rejected you. Stop talking about your dad who rejected you. Just move on and be happy. I want us to end it there because of time. The Lord bless you. Thank you for watching this. We'll be back with another very wonderful topic. I believe that the Lord will minister. We will meet at 10 for the transformational talk. The Lord bless you. Thank you. Get interacting with me on Facebook, Kelvin Obonyo. Till next time, have a blessed time.